Welcome to my channel, INTJ Island. Today I'm going to wing it and we'll see how it works out. If it's not so good, sorry about that. I was thinking about knowledge today and puzzling about why I care about it so much. Why am I so interested in knowledge? Why do I want to know things? Why do I go looking after things? And I was thinking that there's really three main reasons that I can think of off the top of my head. The first one is curiosity. I just want to know how things work. I'll see something that's puzzling to me and I'll say, well, wonder how that happens. How's that function? I'll go digging into it. If I can figure out how it worked, it makes me feel good. I just feel better knowing how something works. And also that curiosity will then lead me on to something else quite often, and I'm going down a rabbit hole where it's one thing after another and things that are completely unrelated to the original bit of curiosity, but my curiosity continues pulling me farther and farther into the plot, as it were, the tree of knowledge that is connected together from that original seed. And that happens to me all the time. It has all my life, and that's one of the reasons why I pursue knowledge. Another reason is future use. This is the reason why you take a course in school, or you buy a book on something. You want to master a new programming language or a human language or some other skill. You buy a book on it and you study up on it so you'll know how to do this particular thing, whatever's in the book. You have some future use perhaps in mind that you will be able to use it to accomplish something that you want to accomplish in the future. Another reason is contemporary use. You maybe need to know it right now. One of the examples I can think of, my wife has a web page, or had a web page that is still there. Part of it was to provide information on restaurants. People could go to a restaurant and go to her web page when they're there, look over the menu and find menu items and find out how many Weight Watchers points or calories or the full nutritional value of each menu item was, so they could track what they're eating when they're at a restaurant, which is very helpful. The trouble was the Weight Watchers Corporation would change how they calculate their points. And my wife had at that time over 600 restaurants, and in order to make the changes, they were all in discrete individual HTML pages. That means she had to go through and make 600 modifications times however menu items were on the page. So this was a huge task. It was like there was no way. And that's when I tackled PHP in MySQL. I also used Quick Basic, which is something I've been using for years, to go through all of our HTML files and harvest all the data out of it and save it into the files that we could use to upload into the database. And then I wrote PHP pages to pull the data from the database and then display it for each of the restaurants. And I was able in just about a month to almost all of our 600 pages up that way. There were some of them that just didn't have all the new data, the new requirements was in the system, so that we didn't have the data to calculate the points from what was already there. But most of them we did, and I was able to fix the page in a month, which would have been almost impossible any other way. She'd had to retype everything back in again, and that would have been a daunting task. So anyway, that was one use, and that was immediate and contemporary. I needed it right now, so I had to dive in and figure out how to do it and then do it. Later on, I was doing a journal tracking my weight loss, and while I was doing that, I wanted to be able to graph the results. I had been tracking my daily weights for years, and the amount of calories or points I'd been eating all that time, as well as the exercise I was doing. So I ended up putting all that into a CSV spreadsheet and then uploading that into a database, and then I used PHP to harvest the data to present it by the week and showing what I did day by day each week. And I also used that to create graphs, JPEG graphs. I would just pull the data and graph the points for how many days I wanted for that particular graph. I had 30-day graphs, 60-day graphs, 90-day graphs, 180-day graphs, 360-day graphs, and then the whole time, all the entire package in one graph. So I was able to do all that with PHP, and that was something that was at that time a contemporary use. But before I was going to do all that, I was interested and for future use, and so I'd already started looking at it some, and of course the quick basic was future use. I just did that to play around with, but I could do some pretty good things with it. But the combination finally came out to a actual use. It wasn't just curiosity, but actually put it to use. And a lot of things are like that, electronics or various other things in my life that I've worked with. It's like when I taught, my first course was a transmitter set in the Navy. I sat down and read the manual through cover to cover to make sure I understood what was going on. They had circuit descriptions and everything in there, so I knew how that thing worked when I was done. So when I got up in front of the class, I would have the information I needed to present the material in the best possible way. Anyway, so knowledge is always there. It's like a rabbit, and I'm a hound dog going after it. Something will come by, and boom, I'm after it. That's the curiosity part, and that's kept me occupied all my life. Anyway, so I just thought I'd share that with you. It was just a passing thought I had today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I'll talk to you later. And thanks for listening.